The murder count rises yet again after a mass shooting in Fox Hill. The Prime Minister says get ready for a major announcement regarding cable and wireless and BTC. Controversy following the 2013 Boxing Day Junkanoo parade.
Based on that calculation, one family would emerge with the highest point in the parade.
But the other groups say they're not concerned.
It's just too bad, It is what it is.
Plus a surprise donation to the Bahamas Red Cross. Those stories and more coming up. I'm Nikia DeVoe, and this is NB12. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at NB12. Here are the stories coming out of the newsroom this evening. At least 7 people were shot in Fox Hill tonight, leaving at least 1 dead on the ground and possibly other fatalities after machine gun fire tore through Reeve Street near Fox Hill Park not too long ago. Reports began flooding into our newsroom around 6 p.m. that suspects came through Reeve Street, where a group of people was near a wall outside the Fox Hill Congo's Junkanoo Shack and opened fire with automatic weapons. Area residents said they heard the gunshots followed by screams. Ambulances responded and carted away at least 6 people with gunshot injuries, including at least 1 woman. All injured are reportedly adults. Now, as we said, there is 1 man dead at the scene. Police at this point will not confirm if anyone else is dead, but we spoke to Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell, who is also the area MP and out of the country, and he said that the officer at the scene informed him that as many as 2 people may be dead. Now, Mitchell said he's trying to come back to the country tomorrow. It is unclear if this latest murder is connected to the murder of a man through Dorset Street in Fox Hill early yesterday morning. At that scene, screams pierced the night as police secured the area where the man was shot in the face shortly after midnight. Most of the street was in darkness as dozens of bystanders watched on as the body of the 29-year-old murder victim was placed in a hearse. Police say the victim was sitting on a bucket on the side of the street when the occupants of a silver 4-door Honda approached and opened fire. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, this year's murder count has already surpassed last year's, with at least 113 murders having occurred so far this year. Be sure to tune into NB12 Weekend tomorrow night for full details on this incident tonight. You can also check out tomorrow's issue of the Nassau Guardian for more details on this mass shooting. In less than 4 days, Prime Minister Perry Christie says he intends to make an announcement regarding government's efforts to regain a controlling interest in the Bahamas Telecommunications Company. He told NB12 exclusively there is nothing left to be done, apart from a final meeting scheduled with senior executives of Cable and Wireless Communications. Christie also slammed the leader of the opposition Free National Movement, whom he says may be unqualified to become Prime Minister. Von Igtut has all the details in this report.
Following more than a year of negotiations, was the Christie administration successful in taking back 2% of BTC shares? Well, Prime Minister Perry Christie says he plans to make a big announcement concerning BTC before the end of this year. Christie was all smiles as he told NB12 that CWC's incoming and outgoing chairman will be flying to the Bahamas for a few hours for a major meeting.
You all been talking to me about BTC for a long time, right? No, yeah. I'm saying we have something interesting to talk about before the end of the year, and the end of the year is approaching quickly.
So is it going in the government's favor?
No, it's going to be very interesting, and I would like to believe that we're going to have both the incoming chairman and the outgoing chairman here in the Bahamas for a few hours.
CWC purchased 51% of BTC shares in April 2011. However, the Christie administration pledged to regain majority control of the company and appointed a negotiating team last year. Speaking with NB12 on the sidelines of the Boxing Day Junkanoo parade Thursday morning, Christie said there is no further work to be done.
One is expecting an
Further work to be done.
no further work.
No further work.
And when do you plan to come to the Bahamian people with an announcement?
Shortly. But as I said, before January 1st, 2014.
The Prime Minister wouldn't say much about his impending announcement, but noted that CWC would play a more significant role in BTC moving forward.
They have been able to make significant monies, and so as 49% shareholders, we'll benefit from that. And moving forward, I expect them to have an even more significant impact on the individual Bahamian, and I think whatever we will end up with will in fact enable them to be seen to do something like that.
However, he asserted that BTC must address complaints of dropped calls and other service disruptions before liberalization takes place on April 1st, 2014. The Prime Minister also hit out at opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis over his recent comments about BTC take-back talks. He questioned whether Minnis is qualified enough to ever become Prime Minister.
The only thing that amuses me in this whole exercise is the leader of the opposition. Right? He amuses me. And in terms of his lack of understanding of how prime ministers act and think. And for him to say what he says and how he says it seems to disqualify him significantly from ever holding this office. But he'll have to see for himself.
On Tuesday, Minnis again expressed doubt in Christie's ability to take back the majority shares in BTC and called on him to abandon those efforts. Asked if he feels negotiations dragged on for too long, Christie said it doesn't matter how long it takes when those talks are in the country's best interest. Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonik Toot.
Well, you've probably heard the results of the 2013 Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade by now, but here's a recap. Junkanooers and Junkanoo fans gathered at Arawak Key last evening in hopes of hearing that their group came out on top. But only one group could be the winner, and it was announced that the Valley Boys swept nearly every category in the 2013 parade, winning overall with its theme From China to the Bahamas. The only major category it lost was music. Valley members said yesterday's win was for the group's leader, Winston Gus Cooper, who has been in a Florida hospital since mid-July recovering from brain surgery.
And it's bittersweet, because like you said, everybody was counting us out all year because the boss was out sick. But what people don't understand is that Gus has set a foundation for everybody in the group to live on.
And we have guys in our group. When we pull together as one team, we work together and we pull this victory off. And we plan to do the same thing on New Year's morning.
According to the unofficial results for the Boxing Day Parade, the Valley Boys got a total of 87.93 points for the win. The Saxons, under the theme Taj Mahal, Jewel of India, placed second in the A category, taking home a total of 84.45 points. One family, under the theme You Born There, Rediscover Our Bahamas at 40, captured the third place prize with 84.29 points. That group also won the music category. Roots, under the theme Bahamian Music Turns Me On, came in fourth with 81.61 points. Placing fifth was Music Makers with 59.21 points under the theme From Whence We Came, and Prodigal Sons placed sixth with 51.74 points with the theme 40 Years of Independence, Prove It's Better in the Bahamas. Yesterday's parade was the test run for the new judging system, which Chairman of the Parade Management Committee, Douglas Hanna, said worked well, but he admitted it did cause some delays.
Because of a new system, they were being very, very meticulous in getting that done. So this process was a little slower.
Well, one Junkanoo group isn't happy with the results, so much so that one family has officially filed a protest. One member said a penalty mistake cost them the win, and he is calling for that alleged blunder to be corrected. Dana Smith has that story.
After placing third in yesterday's Boxing Day parade, some members of the One Family Junkanoo group are outraged. They claim a 5-point penalty was applied to the wrong category, and if corrected, they would be the real winners of the parade. One family collected a 5-point penalty for having more than one person in the lead costume. Member Anton Saunders, who filed the protest, did not doubt the reasoning for the penalty, but explained the points should have been deducted from the costume score and not the overall score, in which he said one family had the highest points before the penalty.
The assessment of that penalty point should have been on the individual costume, not the group. So that penalty has to come off, should be removed from the overall group penalty and placed appropriately where it's supposed to be. Based on that calculation, one family would emerge with the highest point in the parade. This is black and white, 1 and 1 is 2, right? The rules and regulations states, G, groups having more than one lead costume carrier lifting a lead costume at the same time whilst participating along the official lap on the parade route, subject to 5 points penalty per infraction from the offending costume score. So that has to be in the lead costume. That 5 points has to come there. It cannot be assessed on the overall group.
One family rushed downtown under the Bahamian theme, "You're born there, you're born there," and placed third overall with 84.29 points, according to the unofficial results. As Saunders explained, that number includes the 5-point deduction, but if the penalty is moved from the overall score and applied to the costume category as requested in the protest, one family would score 89.29 points, placing them above Boxing Day winners, the Valley Boys, who amassed 87.93 points and had no penalties.
That is not subjective. This is black and white. Right? This is the rules and regulation that the Junkanoo has agreed to live by. The same rules and regulations that one family had to suffer a disqualification under. We're not asking for any favors. We're just asking them to correct the rules and apply the penalty appropriately.
As for the other categories, such as banner and choreography, Saunders said there will be no protest concerning those results, as he believes that is all, quote, subjective, while the penalty for having more than one person under a costume is not. He just wants that penalty applied to the costume category. Saunders said although there is anger among some members of the group, he believes it's a simple change, and one family has faced worse.
We are disappointed. Yes, there's anger amongst us, the leaders and the senior members, but One Family is a strong organization. We've suffered many adversities. We've suffered a disqualification. We came back stronger, better, more colorful, more music, right? We will come New Year's the same way. We have pride in our group, we have pride in our members, we have pride in our fans. And we're not going to let them down.
Although an official protest has been filed, executive members of One Family said they have no comment on the matter, nor did the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence. For his part, Parade Management Committee Chairman Douglas Hanna confirmed he has received the protest and it will be forwarded on to an independent review committee in the coming days, where a final decision will be made. As for One Family, Saunders said if the results are not changed, it will be up to the official members to decide the next step. Reporting for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
But although the One Family Junkanoo group insists it should take the top spot, which would push current victors, the Valley Boys, to second place and the Saxons to third place, leaders of those groups say they're not concerned. Rumors began circulating that the results were changed today, declaring One Family the winner. But Director of Culture Eddie Dames today shut down those rumors, saying that the results still stand. He says that groups have 48 hours to protest the results and no changes are made before then. The Valley Boys deputy chairman said members are focused on the New Year's Day parade and will leave that decision up to the judges.
The Valley was in a class of their own, Boxing Day pass. One Family and anybody else who has an issue with the scores or why we would have won the parade, the only thing they need to do is go to the videotapes and watch. We leave it up to the process. We don't get caught up in all of that. But I will tell you this, the Valley Boys will stand toe-to-toe with anybody as it comes to arbitration.
And over in Saxons territory, group leader Percy Vola Francis shared similar sentiments today. He said while the group is not too happy with its second place finish, members will not be distracted by it. And according to Vola, they won't be distracted by One Family's threat to push them even further down the rankings either.
We're not concerned about the way One Family feels. That's their problem. They only have a problem because the Saxons came up ahead of them. If they had come second behind the Valley, it would not have been a problem. It's just the problem that exists with them is that they didn't beat the Saxons. And so that's their problem, and we are not concerned about them. They can protest much as they like. It is what it is. You created it, and that's the way it is. But if you have a problem with the Saxons beating you, then it's just too bad. It is what it is.